Hello and welcome to everyone who is listening to this transmission. It's another wonderful day in Auckland and also wonderful news to share. On the 21st of July 2014, we have experienced another major opening of the vortex in New Zealand in the land of Aotearoa. That was the vortex of the Ruapehu, Tongariro, Ngarahoe, or the Central Plateau, which we call Ruapehu Tongariro vortex in short. This opening happening on the exact date of 21st means that the vibration of 777 of the day 21, and then month of July obviously being month 7, and the year 2014 is a year 7, signified that the divine plane was delivering yet another piece of the puzzle required and needed for our ascension and the major shifts that are happening on our plane at this point of time. For me as a channel, being part of this opening and bringing the energies of the vortex was probably one of the highest experiences of my life so far. And several days prior to that, I was called to the Ruapehu area. And just being in the mountain energy was very different and very potent. And then obviously I was called on various points where the connections were needed. And as you know, the channels serve as a literally like a connector, like a plugging everything in the electrical socket. So at some point I would be called on the other side of the mountain, which is the area towards the ski fields of Turoa. And I would be asked to go a certain level up the mountain with the ski lift and then stop on particular point. The peak of Ruapehu being obviously coming from above, and then on the map I've checked there were two very powerful glaciers on each side, and then the positioning of my body was like a last point of the diamond. These glaciers were holding such an intense old coding from the Lemurian vibration that was actually left for us to reconnect and use at this point of time. So I would have to stand there, the legs go directly into the snow, like literally through the snow, and the magnetic energy holds so tightly that for a half an hour I wouldn't be able to move physically at all, and then all the amazing downloads were happening by the moment. On the following day, which is exactly on the 21st, the actual like a vortex opening happened, and I was called to be on the other side of the mountain, which is the Wakapapa village. If anybody visited Wakapapa Information Center, might have seen incredibly beautiful rock which is in front of the Information Center, and I've never had any conscious knowledge or understanding about this before that moment. So I was called to walk to that rock, and the energies that were emanating were so strong that I felt all those divine tears that we all experience in the presence of divine energies when you feel enveloped into this coding of divine light. And the rock itself was declared to be Tapu, sacred point, and later, when I've entered the center, more of the information was given because there were several panels that were explaining what has happened and asking people obviously to respect this very sacred point. Apparently on the 22nd of November 1998, so that is the vibration of 2211, people gathered on this point to celebrate the Tongariro National Park Heritage of the World status. So UNESCO gives the status of the Heritage of the World to various very important or beautiful points around the world. So underneath that there was obviously a different agenda, and the spirit guided all these people to connect the energies in an amazing fashion. So they brought rocks from the 6 sacred mountains around New Zealand called the Taonga rocks, the sacred rocks, and they were all buried in the big heart-shaped rock and then covered with the plaque. So with these ceremonies, it was explained that the mountains of New Zealand were giving the mana, the energy, to the central plateau, preparing it for the further events that were following. And I was so amazed to be part of that process, because the event that followed exactly on the 21st was the actual activation of the vortex. So what was really amazing as well, while I was taking photo of these panels with photos and informations, the spirit created the light vibration in the form of arrows and golden discs that appeared on my camera. And when I was while I was photographing the New Zealand, and you know how the positioning is usually North Island and then South Island further down, somehow miraculously that photo turned around and it came up on the camera upside down, with the top of New Zealand being actually the very beginning of the South Island. And there was amazing golden disc showing the penetration of these vibrations, and I was in the consciousness given the swift of this golden spiral going through all the sacred mountains and spiraling, whooshing through and activating the Ruapehu area. How I felt is beyond description. It's not even easy to describe in words, but for really weeks after that, I was not able to do my old way of work, and the new streams of consciousness were flowing, and it was very intense on the physical body. So I do need to warn you about that these energies are very, very intense on the physical, and the levels of the change that they promote within us are truly incredible. There is not much time, obviously, in a short addressing like this to give you more details about this event, but I would like to explain what these energies are doing for us. What are they shifting? So the Ruapehu vortex prepared the path for working with the male energies. As we had a very strong influx of the feminine energy restoring on the planet, now there is the male counterpart which is showing lots of resistance, because male energies were for a long time the dominant one, the in a position that the ego self would consider stronger, better, and it's really difficult on some levels to let go of that. So lots of resistance. So Ruapehu vortex energies are helping us to hit right on that. One amazing experience that I can share, and I believe that is the vibration that came through the channel to be obviously shared for all of us, is that with these energies, for the first time, I started really feeling deep compassion for the male energy. And that is prerequisite to be able to shift, because it was really difficult. I can admit it myself, and I'm sure you've been having the same experiences. It was really difficult to accept and be compassionate with the energies of such a powerful negativity as murder and rape and war and genocide and all the distorted male energies as we have been experiencing them for a long period of time. Now I can truly say that I come from the point of compassion, and it's quite amazing to see. This is another thing that you may want to know. Beautiful carriers of the male energy, the people around us, our very partners and sons and co-workers, may show really intense need for our love and compassion right now, because they are going through the major processes, and lots of anger and imbalances may seemingly show up. So we all need to be very prepared to work with these energies and to help the shift. So in the light of that, the guides were giving me this very specific opening process connected with the Ruapehu vortex, because as the vortex is open on the planet, they open in our bodies as well. And this particular one is the process called Heart 360, which I would love to share with you, so you can start utilizing it and accessing the cellular memories and the files that are connected with the male energy abuse, female energy suffering, and so forth. And then we will be able, on the 27th of September, is the day which is appointed for us to collectively accept the vortexes in a form of the coding in our own bodies. If we all resonate with that, you are cordially invited to be a part of the very short workshop, just the 3 hours, on the 27th of September, which is obviously next month at Kauai Pura Pura. And we'll be downloading the Ruapehu Tongariro vortex in all vibrational aspects that are needed and we are ready for at this point of time. So just check yourself whether you are going to need this, because this process is also telling you whether there are actual files that you need to address at this point of time, whether personal or collective. So if you just stay in the energies for a moment, just very deeply breathing. As you're watching this material, you're already stepping into the vortex. And as you visualize your heart being obviously in the middle of the circle, there will be a perimeter of the circle going around your upper part of the body, and we will guide you exactly where and how to activate the files. You'll be doing that with your own finger or knuckle, and starting on the right hand side of the body, just below the collarbone, not on the shoulder but on the body, and you're starting to walk it up. As you're creating a full circle, you're going to press a little bit on the bone and under, lifting up, and give it a little movement, which is like a digging in movement, and you're going to feel various points may show activity. They might be either neutral or slightly painful, and some of them might be very intensely painful on pressure, because connective tissue or the collagen fibers are part of the crystalline structure of the body, and these files will be accessed through that. So as you keep going and you have covered the right side of the collarbone, you'll come to the notch, which is between the two collarbones. That's the upper valve for the heart center. Again, dig very well there, and you may find again points that are responsive. That's the area where with strong emotions we usually feel like a constriction. And then you continue over the left side of the collarbone, again digging nicely into the body, and you're coming in the area still on the body, but now on the side around the breast, and going down on the side of the body in the very middle line. Keep pressing. You're now on the ribs and working that line down before you start moving into the inside towards the mid of the body, again by following the ribs. So that will be under the ribs, again slightly under. You will find very interesting files there as well, connected with the solar plexus. Then give it again very good dig around the solar area. Lots of people still hold vibrational files that can be accessed through that area of the body. Then you're going now back on the right side of the body, moving up and up and up the ribs, now curving up on the side of the body, up the ribs again until you come back on the body to the point where you have started. So you're advised to do this activation for at least once a week in the next several weeks, and this process will be continual, because these files are now going to connect you with the collective memory of a huge negative experiences of the human race. As we said, the wars, the famine, the genocides, the big and huge pain that have been held within the human energy fields. We must connect with huge compassion from divinity, and this vortex of light is allowing us to exactly do that, and then we become instruments of complete transmutation and able to receive the vibrations of the Ruapehu Tongariro vortex that are taking us just higher. Sky is the limit. Everyone is also invited to take advantage of the group healing sessions that are happening every first Wednesday of the month for 2 hours in the evening between 7:30 and 9:30. We are already working with these energies in a group fashion, even before the actual download happens on the 27th, and this will be continual work. People who also felt until now coming for a private session, or you may feel want to have one, feel drawn to do so, all the doors are open, and energies are at the moment like somebody has turned on the tap. So enjoy with lots of love and light.